Oh, are we live? Hello, hello. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I got a notification on my phone saying we're live, so we should be live. How y'all doing? Hope you're doing good. Oh, jeez, fuck. Hold on. God fucking damn it. Hold on. There you go. Let's close this shit. Fucking hell. Fucking. Okay, there you go. Okay, hold on. There you go. Jesus. I misclicked. I tried to click here on file and save. Instead, I went overboard on the next monitor and closed my fucking YouTube studio. Jesus. I hope the stream didn't get like cancelled or anything because of that. Oh, yeah. Okay. So tell me, like, is it working now? Is everything good? Yes, no, maybe. Everything seems to be working fine. Okay. You guys can hear me, right? Or am I going crazy? Okay. Perfect. Okay. So, again, sorry for the wait. But I just really wanted to make sure to get this right because animations are a little tricky, right? And as I've mentioned before, today's stream is going to be the last game dev stream for a while. Because I really need to get working on my game, and also frankly I've kind of, after today's stream, I'm kind of gonna have shown you guys everything that I know, and then eventually what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start making videos that like condense the various things that I've done in all of these live streams. This is like the 32nd live stream. I don't know why it says 31st. I probably miswrote that. It's the 32nd live stream. Working like a true chat. Yeah, exactly. So this upcoming week, as I said in yesterday's stream, I'm gonna be working all week at the hospital. So obviously I'm not gonna be able to stream. But starting next weekend, so this upcoming Saturday, hopefully I'm gonna start ramping up the number, like the frequency of live streams, because I really want to finish working on the galaxy map so that we can then start working on the 3D models for the units. Hey Moldy Crow, glad you could make it. And once we're done with the galaxy map, with the 3D models, then the VFX, which I'm going to do on my own, and lastly the UI, which I'm probably also going to stream how I do the UI, just to show you guys some cool stuff. Once we're done with that, the game should be play testable, at which point I'm probably going to start sending out invites for play tests and stuff, and I'm going to have hopefully a little bit more time to actually make the videos synthesizing the game dev tutorials that I've been making, because obviously most people don't have the time or energy, or frankly willingness as well, to regularly attend like hour-long streams, right? Or in our case, like 2 to 3 hour long streams, right? But yeah, so this is kind of why it took me so long to do this, because I replaced, if you remember correctly, in my previous streams, I had like a capsule about this large, right? I replaced it with an actual character that I made all in Unity. This is just done using primitive shapes. If I click, so if you look here in the hierarchy on the left, if I open Game Manager, then here we have player objects, player movement object. I open it, player character, and then here I have like my 3 attacks, right? 1, 2, 3. Oh, no, it's a big robot. Yeah, so here I have the torso, left shoulder, right shoulder, you know, and here like that. Let me just open everything up so that the whole hierarchy can be seen by you guys. Okay, there you go. Okay, there you go. So now basically if I click here, you're gonna see which ones I'm selecting, right? Like that, like that, like that, right? This obviously is a very ghetto way of doing things, but I just wanted to get it working for you guys to be able to see properly. But basically what I've done is I've simulated the bones and stuff that you would find when actually rigging a real 3D character in something like Blender and stuff. But that, again, like my knowledge of Blender is very basic. Watch Retroman's Blender tutorials. He's like an actual professional, unlike me. But the wee wee is missing. Yeah, I had to remove the wee wee. Sorry. And yeah, and so basically, okay, I built this little character here, and then I hold on. Let me see. Where's the camera? Camera movement. Where's the camera? Like that. Okay. Let's make it a little bit closer just so that it's a little easier for us. There you go. Okay, just so that it's a little easier for us to look at our character. And basically, if I select this here we have our player manager MOBA script. Okay. Hold on. Okay, so now if you look, you can see we have an idle animation, right? It's very basic, so that's why I wanted to zoom in, because it's not the easiest thing to see, right? And then if you look here, down here, we have, you know, move forward Boolean, move left, move backward, move right, etc., right? Oh, like that, okay? So now when I press WASD, it's not perfect, it needs polish, right? But basically you're gonna see the character start moving. See? Oh, there you go, right? And now if I stop, he stops, now he starts again, right? There you go, right? And because we're using nav mesh, that's why like the character can basically be rotating. Like, you see what I mean? He's like running backwards and shit, right? Ideally, we wouldn't want to do that. But again, the point of this tutorial is it's animations. It's not polish or whatever the fuck, right? Because basically, if I were to be walking backwards, I would have an animation for them walking backwards and stuff like that, right? Okay. So now that we got this working, let me explain to you guys how to create a well, animations and stuff. Okay, so let's go back to here like that. Okay, you also made the bones in Unity. Well, no, that's the thing, Unity doesn't have bones. So this is why I showed you. I just made a bunch of spheres and cylinders, right? And I just so that's why it took me so long, because I did it the most brain dead way possible, right? I just put objects in, right? So like if I were to move this, you see what I mean? Like they're just a bunch of objects that I've like just put next to each other and made them all children of one another, right? To highlight two things. Number one, to just make it easier to see, it's a bit more intuitive to understand, but also once I start showing you how the animations work, you're gonna understand why I did it this way. It's to highlight, it's to make it easier for you guys to understand how animations work in Unity, okay? So first I started off, I created, as I said, like all of the different limbs and stuff, right? Like that. And then what we do is you go into window. Okay, so here you go into window, here animation. Okay, it says the hierarchy parenting without bones. Exactly, there are no bones. There are no bones. Okay, that's why I'm saying this is ghetto, but I've purposefully done it this way to show you guys something when I'm gonna start animating. I'm gonna show you guys why I did it this way, and you're gonna understand. Okay, so as I said, here you're going to window, animation, and animator, not animation, animator. You click animator, and it's gonna, well, mine is already open, so it just sent us to this. Okay, so this thing here has the states. Don't touch exit, don't touch any state, don't touch entry. Don't touch these three things. Initially, it has nothing. Okay, so these two things don't exist, okay? Then, if you go into Window, Animation, and click Animation, then as you can see, mine is already open, but basically this window is going to open, but it's going to open like, basically it's gonna open like this, okay? So then all you do is select this, not this, select this, and drag and drop it here. That's what I do just because it's easier that way, right? So we have our project, our console, our animation, okay? And then when you want to create any kind of animation, okay, you're gonna select whatever thing you want to animate, okay? In our case, it's gonna be a player movement object, okay? Then add component, just write anim, and then click animator. Again, not animation, animator, okay? So then it's gonna open something up here, but then this thing, so actually, let me show you. Test dummy, okay? Test dummy is one of our, let's double click. Here, it's one of the AI, okay? You click this here, animator, okay? Well, as you can see here, there's no controller. The controller thing is empty. If I click on the little circle here, it's gonna show me the available animator controllers we have. So here, if we go into project, I created a new folder called _animations, double click on it, okay? And now here, I'm going to create, well, right click, hold on, my eye is like itching. Give me a second, okay. Exactly, okay. So here you right click, create, animation, animator controller, okay? And we're gonna call it enemy, what's the player? Yeah, enemy animator. There you go, okay. There you go. So now if you select any of these, as you can see, there's nothing appearing in the inspector, okay? You can't see anything specific in the inspector, okay? So now what do? We click on the test dummy, okay? And then literally you can just drag and drop it here, or click the circle, double click, you know, whichever one's easier. You touch nothing else for now, okay? No need to touch anything else, okay? And then here we have our animator. Here we select the animation thing. Okay, so let's go back to the scene. Here like that, okay? Test dummy. Here we have animation. We have our enemy animator. Okay, so everything's set up appropriately. So now, what I'm gonna do is very simple, okay? Here, in our animation window, again, it says to begin animating, test dummy, create an animation clip, right? Saving all of this so that I can use it for my games on animations. I really want them to be flashy, so it will probably be a nightmare llama. Yeah, well, here's the thing with Unity. You can create the animations in Blender and then import them. So that's something that's cool. But me, I've never done it. I've never done rigging or animating in Blender. So that's why I can't really help you with that. Right, I've only ever done it in Unity, so that's like my limitations, right? Because as I said, like now we're kind of reaching the point where I've kind of taught you guys everything I knew, right? Like this is really the last thing that I know how to do, right? So here you're gonna click on create, okay? And now it opens this up. Now if you look here, it's this PC, local disk, Unity, game dev tutorials, so that's the name of the project. Assets, animations, right? So if we click cancel, if we go back to project, remember, here we have assets and animations, right? And here we can see we have the two, the player idle and the player run animations, right? Player run anim, player idle anim, etc., right? So now what we're gonna do is we select the animation thing here. We select the test dummy, at which point Unity recognizes that we have the animator. So now it allows us, right? Because if I click here, right? If I click create, Oh, well, actually, oh, okay, that's interesting. Okay. So here it's going to allow me to create animations, but because we don't have an animator controller, they're not gonna work, right? So for now, let's click on test dummy that has an animator controller, okay? Let's click create and let's name it enemy idle. Anim, or I can just leave it enemy idle, right? Because it has .anim at the end, enemy idle, okay? And now here's how you animate, okay? This is gonna be super fucking basic, okay? Here on the red, this little red circle here, I hope you guys can see it, okay? Here you click on it, and now the timeline is red, as you can see, okay? And now, what you do is very simple, okay? You're gonna do this basically. Hold on, let me just see. Yeah, you're gonna do this. Like that, or actually no. Control Z, okay? Let's do, okay, here we have position. Let's do like that, position 2. No, position 1.5. Here, let's click back up to here. Okay, this is 1 already. And then here, back to 1. Okay. Now you click on the red thing again, because as you can see, it says enable/disable keyframe recording mode. So now it's enabled. That's why it's red. If you click on it again, it disables it. And then if you click on play the animation clip, there you go. Okay, there you go. So now, literally, if we click on the animator thing here, see now this has appeared, because before we created the clip, like if I select the test dummy one, which does not have the animation controller, the animator controller, and it doesn't have any animations, okay, well, yeah, okay, it didn't update, but basically, yeah, actually, okay, let me give you a better example here. Okay, here if I click on the player movement object, it updates this to show us the thing we've selected, right? If then I click on test dummy 1, it doesn't update. If I click on test dummy 0, it does update. Hope that makes sense, right? And now here what we have, okay, let me just show you an example. Okay, let's create a second animation here. So here now now that we have one animation, we can't click on the create thing anymore, right? So now here you select which animation clip you currently have selected, which is here we have enemy idle, right? You click on it, you click create new clip, and now we're gonna say enemy attack, whatever, right? I'm making shit up, but yeah. So now again we're gonna click on this. I like to click at the center or whatever, and basically I'm gonna select this. I'm gonna make it rotate a bit. Hold on, no, we're gonna do like that a bit, and then rotate like that. Okay. All right. Okay. So now we're gonna stop recording. Okay. And now this is what this is going to look like. Okay. But now we want it to go back to how it was. So literally you just select, right? Drag select, right? Like that. Hope you can see my mouse. Okay. You do Control C to copy. Then you click here on the timeline, whatever time frame you want, and then you do Control V, and you just copy pasted the keys, right? So now this is what it's going to look like. Okay, there you go. So now how do we apply this to code, right? Because here's the thing, if we go back to the animator, see here, now we have this other clip, this enemy attack clip, but we don't have anything that links both of these, right? So how do we link both of these? Here, entry, again, as I said, don't touch any state, don't touch entry, don't touch exit. All you need to know is this thing, it's kind of like the void start, and it just sends us to this thing, right? So now how do we do it? We create something called parameters. Here we have layers, and here we have parameters. Here you click on the plus and you can choose either a float, an int, a boolean, or a trigger. Personally, I really only use booleans, okay? And we're gonna say, we're gonna call it start attacking, okay? And this here is a name, okay? This is the name of the variable, and then here we're gonna create another boolean, and we're gonna say stops attacking, okay? Or actually, you know what? No, we're only going to have we're gonna rename this to is attacking, okay? Perfect. So now here we right click, you click make transition, boom, like that. Then you click on the actual line, okay? And then here in the conditions, you click plus is attacking. That's really our only available parameter. If we had like, let's say float, other parameter, okay? Well, now here, see, I can select, do I want, okay, greater, lesser, whatever, right? And here I can type whatever I want, right? There you go. So let's actually click is attacking. This thing I can delete with the delete key, or again, integer, whatever, delete. Okay, there you go. So here we have, so that's it, right? We have our condition is attacking true. Then here I can once again right click, click make transition, click on this, okay? And now transitions, enemy attack to enemy idle. Okay, so now I can click on this again, plus condition is attacking is false, okay? So basically, and now if I were to click on this, right? And let the scene play, okay? Now this should be attacking constantly. See? It's attacking constantly. Why? Because I set it up as true. If I click on this, now it's false. See, it transitioned back to enemy idle, which now it's doing this, okay? And now, like this. There you go, right? Very simple. Let's go back to here. Let's make it false. There you go. Let's save everything for now. Okay, so now let's go into the code. Okay, and let me show you how it's going to work. Okay, here I have the player stuff, but I'm going to do it again just to make it easier for everything. Okay, so where is the enemy MOBA? No, it's not. It's AI navigation MOBA. There you go. Okay, so now here I'm gonna do header animation variables. Okay, public animator, this AI animator. Okay, like that. You can set it up however you want. In our case, let's wait for it to compile, for the code to compile. Let's click here. Let's click test the dummy. Does it have AI navigation? Now see here we have animation variables. This AI animator, you just click this, like drag and drop. Boom. As simple as that. Okay? Like that. And then we go back to our code. Oh, fuck's sake. Okay, there you go. And now what we're going to do is, oh fuck, holy shit. My nose is itching. Okay, so if distance to play, blah, blah, blah. Okay, hold on. Let's do this. Public float, attack range F equals -1, whatever, so that I can, there you go, so that I can manually, so that I know that I need to manually do this. These, again, this is my own convention that I've developed, okay? So here we have if distance to player is lower than detection range, and distance to player F is greater than attack range, move towards it. Else if distance to player is lower or equal to attack range, okay, we're going to do this, okay, we're going to do this, stop moving when attacking the player, okay, if player is out of range, okay, hold on, stop moving when attacking the player, and then stop moving when attacking the player, and then do attack animation, okay. And so then what do we do here, okay, for the attack animation? We have our animator. It's called this AI animator, okay. So now we're just gonna say this AI animator dot set boolean, okay, set boolean, in parentheses the name of the boolean, which if I remember correctly, fuck, okay, hold on, if, okay, it's is attacking without a space, okay, so let's go back here, is attacking, it needs to be written exactly the same way, because this line of code is going to go into the animator, fuck, sorry, it's going to go into the animator, into the parameters, and it's going to look for whatever thing has the exact same name, right? Is attacking without a space, okay? So let's go back here, is attacking, and then comma, true, okay? So let me show you another example. This AI blah 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 set boolean, okay, and now if I hold my mouse here, see, it shows void animator dot set boolean in parentheses string name, because remember, a string is a type of variable that is just text basically. So string name, comma, boolean value, so true, false, nothing else, right? So okay, there you go, and that's it, that's literally it, right? And then here we're going to do the same thing but the opposite, right? So start, so no, move towards player if player is within that detection range but not within attack range while doing idle animation, okay? So then this is attacking false, okay? Simple as that, okay? And now if you remember, let's wait for it to compile. If you remember, we're only using a single boolean here, which when the is attacking is true, we go to enemy attack animation. When is attacking is false, right, we go back to idle animation, okay? So now only the test dummy 0 has all of this. The other test dummies don't have an animator or anything like that, right? So now if I were to press play, these 4 would be giving us error messages. Let's do it just for fun, but we're gonna see here in the console, they're gonna give us a bunch of error messages basically. Okay, hold on, let's wait for this to disappear. Okay, like that. Okay, see, they're giving us a shit ton of error messages, right? And here, if we look at this one here, okay, interesting, it's not moving. Oh, I think I know why. Okay, hold on. I think that because I made it move up and down, it's constantly getting off of the nav mesh. I think that's what happened here. Okay, so first of all, let's delete these ones and take this one and literally just duplicate it a bunch of times. Okay, like that. All right. And then we're actually, hold on. Animation. Okay, so this is a good example of what happens when we don't want clips anymore. Okay, so let's go back to our project. Enemy attacking, enemy idle. Or no, actually, no, we're good. We're gonna keep the clips. And now here, I'm gonna create an empty and say enemy parent object. Okay. Fuck's sake. There you go. Okay. Enemy parent object. And now here, what I'm going to do is do this. Ah, fuck. Okay, so capsule collider, rigid body. That's the one, right? Capsule collider, rigid body. Use gravity, no. Freeze positions on everything. This one is trigger. Okay, so make it trigger. Like that. Use gravity off. Rigid body. Enemy MOBA, I have this. Okay, so now this we can, oh, fuck's sake. Nav mesh agent. We're gonna say basic enemy, because if I remember correctly, that's the one, right? Basic enemy, amazing. Then AI navigation MOBA. That one I can move, thank God. Okay, and animator, we're gonna leave it that way. So now this one we're going to remove. Hold on. Basic enemy. Okay, perfect. Remove component. Remove component. Remove component. Like that. Okay. And now because all I did was move our AI navigation MOBA thing from one to the other. Oh, hold on. I'm stupid. Let's do 5. Let's do a distance of 5, right? Or maybe a distance of 2.5, okay? Like that. All right. And now let's test things out to see how they work, right? Ah, shit. Hold on. Okay, we're not. Oh, shit. Yeah. Okay, test dummy. Like that. Okay, like that. Okay. Let's move it up like that over here. And then this is 0.5. This is going to be 1. This right here is going to be bruh. Hold on. Capsule 1, and then height 2, radius. Okay, perfect. Okay, now it should hopefully be fine. Hopefully. Oh, god damn it. God fucking damn it. Why does it not work appropriately? This is what happens when I try to do things at the last second, right? Okay, so here we have this animator, player, character. Yeah. Navigate. Hold on. Let me look at the code again. No. All right. Thanks, Zeno. Distance. Blah blah blah. Transform dot position. Player. Yeah, there's nothing. Here, reset path. Else reset path. Yeah. So this should be fine. Here it's really something. Hold on. 1. It's all 1. Here it's also all 1. animator. This should be fine. Okay, anyways. Hold on. So anyway, so I think at this point you kind of get the idea, right, of how it should be working. Again, like I messed something up when like applying this stuff, and again, like honestly, I'm so fed up with spending my stream fixing bugs that I'm just not even tempted to try and figure out where the bug is, because at the end of the day, I got the player thing working, right? So here, let me show you how the player code works, right? It's very simple, right? We have our player animator here. Oh yeah, absolutely. Rewatch as many times as you need. Oh Jesus. Okay. Sorry, I ate a little fast, so I'm like burping and shit. Okay, public animator, exactly. So here we have the player animator. Then again, I just drag and drop it manually here. Click on, our player controller script is here, player manager, blah, blah, blah. If I click here on this, the player movement object in parentheses animator, it shows us this because I just drag and dropped the animator, right? Basically, I did this. Boom. You know? No, I didn't have yogurt this time, actually. I only ate bread. But it was like, because one of my friends is a baker, and he cooked me some really cool bread with like a bunch of stuff in it, like cheese and stuff. It's really good. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, okay, so here we have the player animator. Okay, player animator. And then literally all I did was here in the, I think it's the late update. Yeah, in the late update, where it picks up all of the player's inputs, okay? I simply did the following. I created an if statement where it's like, if the player is moving forward is true, or is moving backward is true, or is moving left is true, or is moving right is true, then the player animator dot set boolean called start running or starts running is true, and the set boolean stops running is false. Okay, and then or actually let me do it just in the opposite order, just because I like starts running. Yeah, okay, this is good. Actually, this here is good. Okay, so yeah, so stops running is false. Yeah, stops running is false. Starts running is true. Then starts running is false. Stops running is true if the player isn't doing any stuff like that, right? Again, these variables sound, these Boolean names sound redundant, right? You're like, well, of course, if stops running is false, that means we are running. But the idea that I did, right, it's to showcase how you can do multiple variables just depending on like what your needs are, right? So if we go here into the player movement object, here, okay, we have player idle animation. If I click on this transition, we have starts running is true. If we click on this one, stops running is true. You see what I mean? So here, to make sure that we're not idle, first we tell stops running is false, and then we say starts running is true. At which point this is going to be true and this is going to be false for sure. So we move from idle to running and then vice versa, right? And then eventually you have a bunch of more tweaks. Like here you have the speed, right? So here, if I were to click on this and do a speed of 3, the animation is literally going to be moving 3 times faster. Fuck. Okay. So let's just wait for the red stuff to disappear. See? So now we're moving like really quickly, right? If I do 15, okay, we're going to be moving like insanely quickly. You see what I mean? If I do it 0.1, Okay, we're gonna be moving incredibly slowly. You see what I mean? There you go. And also this thing, it doesn't reset. The changes you make here don't reset when you press play or pause. So now I need to put back 1 to make sure it stays normal, basically, right? So this is for instance how they do it in you know, certain games like old school MOBAs. When your character started having like a ridiculous attack speed, that's what they did. They just increased the speed of the animation to match with the attack speed, you know. It makes sense to separate them since the main character could be pushed. That is, it could be moving without exact stuff like that, right? So that's why, again, the names I give them are very stupid names because they're confusing. But ideally, you would want to have better names, right? So like, let's rename this to starts idle, right? And now here in the code, I would have to do, instead of stops running, it would be starts idle. Instead of stops running, it's starts idle. There you go. And yeah, and that's animations, you know. There you go. That's animations. It's the basics are fairly simple, right? Fairly simple and stupid. But the rest, like if you want to make really good animations, something that people usually do is like this is what I used to make my running animation. It's you start with something called keyframes, right? So you make like the keyframes for the running movement, right? So in our case, if I click on player object, double click, okay, like that. Okay, if I double click on it, what happens next is we go into animations here. Okay, we click player running animation, and now here you can see, so this is the animation itself, like that, right? And by the way, okay, this is actually one last thing that's really important here, okay, that I forgot to mention, okay? You see how the first frame of my animation, the player character is already running, okay? So this is keyframe 1, keyframe 2, and then keyframe 3, which is the exact same as the original, right? I usually do it that way so that it's easier for the animation to loop, okay? But hold on. So the first animation were already running, and the last animation were also already running, right? But then look at the way. Hold on. Okay, there you go. Look at the way the animation is going to transition from idle animation to running. Okay. See, it's seamless. You see what I mean? And like at no point in time did I manually make it not seamless. Okay? Yeah, at no point in time did I manually make it seamlessly transition from one animation to another. Okay? Why is that? It's because if we go here into the animation, okay, and I click on the transition, you see this? Player idle animation. And then here we have another player idle animation. Or no, here we have the player running animation. And here we have another player idle animation, right? And you see this thing here, this is like the transition window. So basically what happens is that Unity on its own takes the last couple of keyframes, even the ones you haven't manually set up, okay? The last couple of frames, not just keyframes, but the last couple of frames of the animation that's currently playing, and it automatically starts to transition with the first couple of frames of the next animation. Okay? And so this is why you don't need to manually create an animation that's the transition animation between idle and running. It happens automatically. You know what I mean? So again, this is why this thing is so cool, because it really saves you time on making like a bunch of really complex stuff for no reason, right? So again, this is the idle animation, right? And as you saw, it transitions from any of these frames here to basically like this frame here, basically, right? The time it takes for it to transition, right? And then here we have curves. Oh, Jesus. Which I haven't really touched on curves, but this thing here is what can be used to make sure that the animations are properly seamless. But because in our case, the starting keyframes and the last keyframes, so these keyframes here and these ones here are the same, we don't need to manually touch it up. But for certain animations, you do need that. But at that point, I would suggest watching tutorials online, because it really depends, right? Again, the way I've done it so far is to show you guys the easiest way to do it, the easiest way, and also the most ghetto way of doing it. Are these trigonometric? I have no idea. This is why I said you'd have to look some more in-depth tutorials, because I have no idea. Oh, trigonomics. Know what I'm saying? Okay. So yeah, so that's the idea. Yeah, that's how animations work. Do you guys have any questions, any comments, anything of the sort? This is probably going to be the shortest stream, game dev stream so far, because honestly, I was expecting animations to have also changed, like the nav mesh had changed, but it actually didn't at all. They really didn't change it. They did some quality of life improvements that I didn't even need to use. So, you know. So I just came in. Where did you get the animations from? Did you make your own? Yeah. Okay. So actually, yeah, I'm gonna give you a quick oh my God, what's the word? Summary. A quick summary of what I showed to people. Okay. So in order to create animations, you click here, Window, Animation, Animator, and it's going to open up this window. Actually, let me show you. Animation, Animator, okay? Then obviously you save it to your layout so that you don't have to open it every time. Then you do the same thing, okay? You go Window, Animation, Animation, and it's gonna open this, right? If I do this, Animation, Animation, it opens this. And then you select whichever object you want, okay? Actually, it's good that you asked me this question, because now I remember that I forgot to mention to you guys why I did it this way, okay? So let me explain. Here, Silver Sterling, I created just with Unity, not with Blender. Just with Unity, I created this character here. So it doesn't have any bones. There's no rigging involved, okay? But I purposefully created each limb to be a child of the previous one. So the foot is the child of the shin is the child of the knee is the child of the leg, the right leg is the child of the right hip is the child of the hips are the children, well, the hips object is the child of the core object. Same thing with like the arms and the torso and blah blah blah, and they're all children of the player character, who is a child of the player movement object. Now then what I did is I created an animator component. I created an animator component here by doing add, you write anim, then animator, okay? Then here you need a controller. So what I did is here in the project, you right click, here in the project, in your assets, you create an animations folder. You create an animations folder, you double click, you right click, create, then animation animator controller, right? I created one called the player animator, player underscore animator. Then we go back to here, we click on this that has the animator component, and here in the controller you like drag and drop this one, right? Boom, you drag and drop this one, okay? Then what you do is you go into the animation, you create an animation, which here we can create like a new animation clip. You give it a name. We're gonna cancel that for now, right? You give it a name, or actually, you know what? I'm gonna do it live just to show you, okay? So here, let's have the attack animation, okay? So let's do create new clip, player attack 1, okay? Player attack 1. So then here you click on the red thing, okay? Click on the red thing. We're actually, hold on, let me close it. Player attack 1. Okay, so the attack 1 is going to be a slash from this side to here. So it's going to be from the right shoulder. Okay. So now, submit your own by keyframing in real time. Yep, but I do know that you can make animations with Blender, and then when you import the FBX file, it also imports the animations and the rig. But I've never personally done it, so I cannot guarantee you that you won't have any hiccups or weird problems or bugs to solve, because I've never done it, right? Again, I haven't, before this morning, I hadn't touched animations in at least 4 years. So that's just maybe even 5 years actually. So that's why I wanted to take my time to make sure I wasn't rusty. Or rather, I wasn't too rusty. Okay, hold on. All right. Okay, so okay, so now here we're going to have the attacking animation. So here, okay, I'm going to record. Oh, okay. Before I do that, let me make something clear, okay? By creating the animator component, by adding the animator component to this object here, okay, it means that I can do animations with any child object that I want, okay? However, if I were to put on the right shoulder a specific animator, I would be able to do any animations I want with its children, but not the rest. So this is why I created a hierarchy the way I did, so that using one single animator, I can do whatever the fuck I want with any of these animations, right? I can do a specific animation only for the right arm without having to worry about anything else, right? The same way that I could create an animator only for the right shoulder and then do the attacking animation only here. The problem is that it would then like overlap with one another, and it would cause like lots of weird bugs, right? I've done most ways. I mainly use Mixamo's animation and then alter them with the keyframing features in Unity's animation area. Yeah. So since Silver Sterling mentioned it, let me show you what Mixamo is. Mixamo is a great tool. You should use Mixamo if I'm being honest. Okay, Mixamo. It's this thing. Oh, fuck's sake. Okay, animations. Okay. You can load, and they basically have like pre-made animations, right? With all sorts of rigs and whatever. And you can download them and integrate them into Unity, and it's really cool. Again, like oh, hello. Hello, beautiful. Hold on, rotate. There you go. Yeah, so again, like here you can see a bunch of different like animations and stuff. Same thing with characters. You can get all sorts of different characters, right? Oh, what the fuck is this? Anyways, yeah, you can get all sorts of different characters and upload them and stuff like that, right? Okay. You can look tutorials for Mixamo on YouTube and stuff. I've never used it because again I'm making a video game with spaceships. But if you're making a video game that has actual characters with movement and stuff, it's gonna be different, right? So anyway, so all of this to say that this is why I added the animator component to my player movement object, because I wanted to have an easier time making every animation I wanted to, right? Okay, so now here I'm gonna click to enable the recording of keyframes, and what I want is by the final frame, or actually, okay, let's do the middle frame, okay? And now for the middle frame, what I'm going to do is right shoulder should be, okay, like that. Okay, maybe like that. And then the right elbow, hold on, I'm attacking like that. You can't see me, but I'm basically doing the animation in real life in front of me. So what we want is, okay, so what we want is for the shoulder to be more or less like that, and then turn a bit like that, okay, and then this thing here to basically, nope, like that, okay? And then here we're gonna just copy and paste, and let's see what it looks like. Oh boy. Okay. Never mind. I see where I fucked up. So right now it's doing, okay. So now these keyframes here, okay. So now these keyframes here, okay, so it's going to be like that, okay? No. Done. Like that. It's going to be okay. Then this here, we're gonna do it like that. Okay. So let's see now. Okay. It's going to raise its arm like that, and then do this. Okay. And then like that. Okay, so now let's put these to 20. Let's put these to 40. And let's see what it looks like now. Hey, there you go. So that's how you do animations. Nice Roman salute. Yeah. So now, let's go back to the code here. And what was it? Was it left click, I think? Left click. This melee attack, blah, blah, blah. Current attack plus equals 1. Use the ability. Okay, so now let me do, hold on. Player nav mesh movement, ability cooldowns. Every single ability. Player jump, player projectile, ability cooldowns. Okay, yeah, yeah, because I did it, if I remember correctly, I did the melee attack in a separate script. So okay, so I'm not gonna make it too complex, but let me just implement it here. Lastly, it's going to be current attack ID, if current attack, blah, 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 current attack ID, used abilities 0, blah, blah, blah. If current attack ID equals 0. We're going to do player animator dot set boolean is so attack 1. Hold on. Did I actually? Yeah, no, exactly. I didn't create one. So let's say so attack 1 and then comma true. There you go. Or actually no, we're gonna do set float attack anim ID to 0. Okay, there you go. So now, hold on. A float, or actually no, it should be an integer. It should be an integer, and we're gonna call it, what was it? It was attack anim, I think I called it. Oh, attack anim ID. Okay, attack anim ID. And now let's, I don't know, let's put it here somewhere, right? Like that. Transition to this here. We're gonna call it attack animation equals 0. Same thing here, attack animation equals 0, and then make a transition here, which is starts running is true. But also, okay, so here I can add multiple conditions. So now I'm gonna do attack animation not equal to 0. And now here, oops, here I'm gonna make another transition, and I'm gonna click on it, plus plus. We're gonna say starts idle is true, and attack animation is not equal to 0. Okay, so now let's see. Okay, so now the way I've coded it, hold on, here, current animation, blah, blah, blah. And then, okay, so now the way I coded it is that this would get set to 0 and nothing would ever set it to another. Oh, all right, I got my boys calling. I'll take my leave here. We'll definitely watch the, all right, take care, Silver Sterling. Okay, so now, again, I only have this line of code setting the attack anim ID to 0. Oops, hold on. Set integer. Okay, like that. So now what I'm going to do is used abilities. Used abilities. Where is it? Okay. So then. Here, what I'm gonna do is if ability cds if loop index equals 0, then this we're gonna set it to -1, let's say. Okay. So now in theory, once once the melee attack is over, it should reset to a normal. All right, hold on, let's put this to -1 like that. Okay, so let's look now. Am I getting any errors? No. Okay. Hey, see? So now I'm idle, and I'm going to do left click. Okay, not working. Right click, not working. Boom. See? It's a bit difficult because of the red thing, but basically 1, 2, and 3. Should work. Okay, so again, it's not perfect because of the code, but yeah, anyways. It did work for a couple of moments, so you know. Nice bitch. Two. Boom. There you go. Okay, so yeah, so that's how you do animations and stuff. Yeah. So again, any questions, any comments, anything of the sort? Uh, yeah, animations are just really they're how can I say the basics of animations. It's not particularly complicated, but if you want to make a really good looking animations, that's where you need to really take your time to make them work properly and integrate everything and blah blah blah, right? So that's when so that's why I'm not an animator, because I don't have the patience to do this, right? But like one of my friends from high school, he became like a visual effects uh, artist and whatever. Like he was the valedictorian of his class in university. He was really good, right? Well, that's the thing. I'm not gonna animate my galaxy red herring. I'm gonna use some very basic scripts to simulate the rotation of the galaxy, but that's about it, basically. Um, yeah, yeah, it will take longer, plus even longer for me because well, exactly. When you're a perfectionist, and I'm also a perfectionist, so that's why I'm like, I'm not touching. As soon as I have enough money to hire real animators and modelers, I'm doing it. Because I like doing the visuals for a game is so demanding, right? That's why most indie games are 2D games, because doing the 3D on your own, I'm telling you, like I am my own worst enemy, because I have such high standards for my game that I was like, no, it's a strategy game and it's going to be 3D, right? No matter what. So also why I want to like maximize how much time I spend working on my game. Because as I said, at this point, I've shown you guys pretty much everything I know about Unity, and I really need to get going, because this is like the third Steam Next Fest in a row that I haven't been able to be ready for. So my goal, God willing, you know, my my goal is to be ready to release my game after Steam Next Fest, February 2026. That's my goal right now. I have no idea if I'm gonna meet it, but if I want to increase my chances of meeting that goal, I'm gonna have to start like basically working full time on my game, right? So streaming as often as I can and stuff like that, right? Um, well, streaming as often as I can. I could technically work on it without streaming, but honestly, the stuff like the stuff like the Galaxy streams and stuff, I prefer live streaming it, just because it helps keep me awake, because it's really boring. Like it's such brain dead work that, I mean, Jesus Christ, you know. Um, but yeah, but I might also do some Galaxy stuff, like work on the Galaxy map off stream as well, right? Because sometimes I'm not in the mood to stream. I'm gonna be honest. Like I'm more so in the mood of like just listening to music. So we'll see. Anyways, I'm starting to ramble off now. But yeah, so this is how you do animations. This week, for the next 4 or 5 days, I'm probably not gonna be streaming. And hopefully next Saturday I'm gonna do another Galaxy stream. So keep an eye out for that. And again, whenever you guys have any ideas uh, for star systems in the game and whatnot, um, go to the Discord server, go here, click on the pinned message in the CC discussion thing, and write me a message containing this type of info. Again, doesn't have to be like Moldy Crow, like a fucking trooper, has been sending me like paragraphs, which is really cool. I like reading them because it's fun. But honestly, like if you like, don't feel pressure to come up with anything intricate. It can literally be like a couple of words for each of these, right? You know? But yeah, so that's the idea, basically. I'm still trying to come up with something that can be... Honestly, look, Red Herring, I'm going to be honest with you. Don't worry about how useful or deep or original it's going to be. Literally anything that crosses your mind, send it to me, because I'm really good at like getting inspired from the tiniest things, right? So that's why I said, like, there's no pressure. Don't worry about coming up with like the next big thing. Literally any idea that comes through your mind, send it to me on the CC discussion channel, and I'm sure I'm gonna be able to do something with it. You know? Yeah, I got inspired from yours as well, Mart. Be forewarned, guys. If you make system submissions for Andy, he will alter it to always include yellow. Listen. We have a quota of Oriental queens that will always be upheld in my games, okay? But yeah. Okay, so so at this point, I've kind of said everything that I need to say. Yeah, you guys said you didn't have any questions. So I'll again, thanks for attending. I know this was a bit of a shorter stream than usual, but at this point, as I said, we're really reaching the end of what I can teach you guys. In terms of like, I don't know any more stuff, but as I said, once I start fucking around with like save states and uploading a build to Steam and other technical stuff like that, I'm gonna do a couple more game dev streams where I'm gonna show you guys how to do these things. But yeah, so video series is gonna be after early access release. So right now I really want to focus on making sure I can hit the deadlines for my own game, and once I release my game in early access, even if the game makes no money, I'm gonna make some videos synthesizing my game dev streams. Especially since at that point I'm going to be able to use my own game as an example. So that's cool. Struct streams in your dreams. I cannot promise a struct stream at any point in time in the future. Sorry, Red Herring. But yeah, okay. That's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and I'll see you guys hopefully alive and healthy next week. All right, take care, guys. Love you all.